What's up guys, welcome back today to another video on the channel. The setup has changed, but it's gonna be like this for a while. Anyways, today I want to talk about Recursion by Blake Crouch. I mentioned in the previous video that I was going to make a video on this book when I reviewed Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I think it was the previous video, and I said at some point in the video that I will be talking about Recursion because that was one more book of Blake Crouch that I had read and immensely enjoyed. So today we're diving into a mind-bending thriller that will keep you on the edge of your seat throughout the time you're reading it. Yes, I'm talking about Recursion by Blake Crouch. If you're ready to have your perception of reality shattered, jump on. Recursion is a science fiction thriller that explores the nature of memory and reality. Blake Crouch is the mastermind behind the insanely popular science fiction novel Dark Matter. It was so popular and so enjoyable that even greats in the science fiction community like Andy Weir appreciated its excellence. The story majorly revolves around two main characters. The first one is Barry Sutton. He's in New York City, a cop, and Helena Smith. She's a neuroscientist. The story of both of their lives runs parallel alongside while we're reading the book. We run through her life and his life side by side, and somewhere along the way they intertwine. Now, Barry, being a police officer, is investigating a new and upcoming syndrome which is hitting a large amount of people. It is called the false memory syndrome, or FMS. What it does is plants false memories or fake memories of entire lives that people have never lived into their minds. That messes with their expectations of reality, and it is causing a large amount of deaths in the city because people are confused. Their heads are mushed up with memories of a life they never lived. Their heads are mushed up with people they never knew, yet they feel an incredible sense of love and longing to those people. Take, for example, in the starting of the book, Barry has to go and stop a lady from jumping down off a building because she has seen an entire life of hers with another husband and a child. She misses them dearly, but she knows that that life is not real. There's something wrong about it. So people are stuck with these vivid memories of lives that they have never lived. These memories are so real that they disrupt their current lives and cause extreme confusion. So Barry is going through this entire process, and his own life is in shambles. So he's kind of messed up himself, and also due to the increasing number of cases of FMS, he's having to see all these people do these things and he doesn't know why. So overall, he's also extremely confused. Now we shift focus to Helena Smith. She is a neuroscientist working on a groundbreaking discovery. That is, she's trying to build technology to retain and store memories. She's able to preserve and restore memories to different people. That's her research. This was initially to help her mother, who was suffering from Alzheimer's. Her intentions throughout the book are noble, but over time, over the course of the book, she realizes that this technology can do more than just store and preserve memories. It can rewrite them. It can change them. It can change whole timelines. Now, here's where things get a little bit muddly and quite interesting. If you pay attention, you can follow very nicely. Helena's invention, known as the memory chair, allows people to travel back into specific points in their memories, hence travel back in time and alter their past. Change the timeline completely. Now imagine being able to fix your biggest mistakes or relive your happiest experiences. Do all the things you love doing as a child, go back to that. Maybe you've made a drastic mistake in your life and you want to go back and change it. Maybe there are things you regret and you want to go back and change them. Imagine having that power. You can go back, alter your life, change it entirely, have an entirely different new life. But technology this powerful doesn't come without unforeseen circumstances. Now, as Barry and Helena are now together, travel through the concept of this technology, they go deeper into it, they delve deeper into the idea, they realize that this creates some sort of ripple effect or a butterfly effect, meaning every single changed memory and altered timeline leads to different realities and alternate timelines all across the world. Each change they make has profound impact on their own lives and the lives of the entire world. So, throughout the entire book, the narrative shifts very, very frequently. Sometimes it even made me question whether I was reading a real sequence or a memory sequence, whether this is a real timeline or this is the memory timeline, because the timelines keep switching. So, if you're not focused and locked in while reading this book, it's going to be a little hard to keep up. One of the most interesting parts about recursion, and something that I don't normally see in other science fiction books that tend to take a single concept of their idea and extremely explain it, shove it in your face. What Blake Crouch does is keep up a crazy fast, relentless pace. The story doesn't slow down at all. The story is always keeping you on the edge of your seat. You need to be focused while reading it. I've read many science fiction books over the years, even though it's not my preferred genre. I'm more of a fantasy guy. But I've read lots of science fiction, and the one thing that I tend to find kind of irksome about fantasy books is that they tend to explain small concepts and things that are of not much significance very deeply. You read something, you understand everything about a small part of the book, and you expect it to have a severe impact later, but that never comes. And I'm not saying all science fiction books are like that, and I'm not saying not to read science fiction and not against science fiction. It's just something that I have noticed out of the books I've read. Maybe it's a personal preference, just putting it out there. But for me, this book was perfect because Blake Crouch keeps up an intense speed. He doesn't let the narrative slow down even once. You need to really read every single thing, and it's structured in such a way that you can perfectly fit things together, even while switching your viewpoints from memories to reality, different timelines, alternate worlds, time loops. Even while going through all of this, it fits in like a perfect Lego structure, each brick connecting to the previous one perfectly. So it keeps you hooked from the start to the end, and the stakes are high. You get to understand the characters' feelings, the despair, the anger, the hope, everything. It's very vivid. It's on the page right there, and you get to experience it firsthand. The emotional depth which he has poured into the characters makes you care about them, makes you want to know them, makes you want to help them, be there, be with them, etc., etc. Basically, it's a recipe for an absolutely amazing book, because see, it has that key aspect of making you connect with the characters. A lot of books are mind-blowing, the concept is amazing, the story is hilarious, everything, but the characters are not realistic, the characters are not connectable, you don't feel that connection with them. Like, there's some books which when I used to read when I was a lot younger, when I used to read them, I used to feel the characters and then want to be with them, create a whole storyline of where I was in there. You connect with the characters in a certain way, and then you want to be a part of that world. You want to be with them. Whether right or wrong, whether good or bad, you just want to be there. You experience that stuff as if you're right next to the characters. So it actually makes you genuinely care about the fate of the characters and how they're going through all of this. Barry struggles not only with this extreme experiment but also in his life. Helena struggles with not only the experiment, also in her life, their moral struggles, their ethical struggles. You feel all of that. You understand all of that. Like Barry's desperation to save the people he loves, Helena's ethical questions about the things that she has created. It adds a lot of layers of complexity to the plot and makes you envision it perfectly. So beyond the themes of action and suspense, which are all up in your face, Recursion really delves deeper into the nature of memory and reality. Most of all, it talks a lot about identity. Not directly, it's not a factual book, it's not explaining stuff to you, but it makes you ask these questions, such as what makes us who we are? Are we defined by our experiences? Do our memories shape our realities? What is our identity? What exactly defines us as us? What defines me as me? Is it the people I've met? Is it the people I love? Is it the people I am around? Is it the things I've done with them? Is it the experiences, the thoughts? What makes a person that person? What makes a person unique? You ask all these questions subconsciously. There's nothing up in your face. The book is not asking you questions, but you will figure these questions out as you read the book. Blake Crouch's exploration of themes like this is thought-provoking and mind-blowing because it's, after all, a science fiction book. Like, it is basically scientific fantasy. You take high fantasy and you make it entirely scientific. That's what science fiction is. The only thing is they do add a hint of realism in there, where the things seem quite probable to happen in our own world. So the thing about science fiction is it's also not real. It's also not happening. So for the characters to be so deep, with so many layers, so many storylines, and you're able to experience all of this, that is a masterclass in writing. Talking about writing, let's not forget about Blake Crouch's writing style. It is simple yet sophisticated, with just the right amount of scientific explanation for the average reader to understand the concept and not to lose their mind. Another thing I've seen that science fiction books tend to do a lot is delve really deep into concepts the average person wouldn't know. So he gives just the right amount of scientific explanation to make the plot believable and yet keep the reader hooked, because you don't want to confuse your reader. The reader is reading science fiction to enjoy it, not to get a bunch of science facts and the periodic table thrown in their face. So his ability to explain complex scientific concepts in a way that everybody can understand is truly amazing, and I appreciate it a lot. So if you're looking for a book that will challenge your mind, keep it believable, keep it realistic, and still give you a lot to think about emotionally and morally and ethically, Recursion is the book for you. It is a perfect blend of science fiction, thriller, and emotional drama. For now, I have only successfully finished two of Blake Crouch's novels, Dark Matter and Recursion, but from what I've read, he has a really good writing style in terms of science fiction. Doesn't tend to over explain stuff and doesn't tend to under explain stuff either. You understand it just perfectly, and it blends in perfectly with the storyline, which is again something not most science fiction authors do, so I appreciate that. Like I mentioned in the previous book review, I do want to read other books by Blake Crouch, and I will probably start the Wayward Pine series in a while. Thank you for joining me on this excursion into the world of Recursion. And like I said last time, there is no necessity, but since you're here and if you're at the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Dropping a like would be very appreciated. If you can subscribe, you're an absolute gem. If you can do both, that is absolutely magnificent. And on the chances that you do subscribe, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you do not miss any of the further videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you guys next time. I get that the setup is a little bland, but bear with it, the book is amazing.